Okay, you guys, we're talking about types in this week as well, and I wanted to just give you a little orientation to type on our computers. You may or may not know this, but when you begin designing specifically for print and for web, you'll want to know about how typed or typefaces behave. I'm going to go ahead and select my type tool, and I'm going to do some area type here, and I'm just going to begin by saying TYPE, and I'm going to put down my shift key and use my left arrow to back select this type. And then to increase my type size, this is what I do daily, rather than using the control panel or the type tool or the character settings, I am going to say by saying Command Shift right arrow. I can increase my type size just using my keyboard, and you guys all know how much I love to do that. And Command Shift C to center it, and there we have type. Now I can go up to my character menu up here and change my typefaces using this menu. Let's just use stencil. Okay. What you need to know about type, however, is that type behaves very differently, or it doesn't behave differently, but type is unique to a computer. And the best way I can explain this is that a typeface is sort of like a piece of clothing in your wardrobe. Consider your computer as your closet, and in your closet you have a bunch of pieces of clothing or typefaces. Typefaces are unique to the computer upon which they are installed. Now, my wardrobe, I shop at Target, and I might share some articles of clothing similar to you who also shops at Target. So the reality is that if I choose a typeface to use in my document, if I send my file off to another user, or for example to a print shop, they may not have my typeface. So it's important that you remember that when you're selecting a type of font for any document that you are designing, you need to remember that you will also need to provide the file in which the font is stored on your computer for that print shop or for the next person who's going to use your file. There are some common typefaces such as Arial, Times New Roman, Tahoma, and other fonts that are sort of becoming industry standard in terms of the web and other tools. But by and large, most of the most interesting fonts you see are very uniquely installed on computers, and you will need to provide those font files. Fonts literally live in files on your computer. So please bear that in mind. One thing that you're going to be able to learn how to do is to outline type. Type has a very specific set of programming behind it so that it behaves and acts in certain ways, so that you can get, you can set up paragraphs, you can change it to italics, you can change it to bold, you can underline it. But one thing that you can do once you're confident that your type is exactly as you want it to appear is that you can convert it to outlines, which will render it as an artistic object that cannot be modified. So for example, right here I might say type right. And I'm going to go and shrink that down. Now, right now, I can do a number of things to it. Let's see if I can underline it. No, it won't let me underline that particular font. But I could delete and change letters if I wanted to. But by selecting the object and converting it to outlines, type, going to the type menus, type, create outlines here. Or hitting Command Shift O, which is the same command. Notice it now looks like an object that becomes editable. So this is where type can become very fun, and that's where you get to see people do a lot of interesting things with their typefaces that they may or may not be using. So anyway, you get the idea. That's just a quick orientation into how type behaves on your system.